Welcome back to Unperfect with Alexi, the perfect place for unperfect people. Yeah, that means you, me, everybody who listens to this. We are all unperfect, okay? And we're here to share the experiences and the stories and amplify the ideas that change the world. If you are a weekly listener, you're probably like, Lexi, you didn't post yesterday, which was Tuesday, which is the day you usually do a solo episode. But it's because I had a brilliant idea, and I still will think it, even if you don't think it's a brilliant idea. What that idea was. So I've been looking for a way to get you guys more included and more involved in this podcast, despite just talking at you every week. I want to hear your thoughts, your opinions, your ideas. I want to include you because without you, I wouldn't be here. So it's about damn time I start giving you a voice. I thought it would be really fun to pose a question to my audience and then have them answer it. And then read all of those answers anonymously to my podcast in hopes that you feel less alone, like you can understand somebody where they're coming from, that you learn something new, that you feel like your voice is heard, that you can find community in people who share similar views of life with you. So I polled my audience and I asked them a couple questions. The answers to those I will be reading today on this podcast. So if you guys like this type of content in this series, please let me know because I want to continue making this type of content because it's really fun for me to essentially facilitate a conversation that not a lot of people have. All right. So the first question I posed to my audience is, what do you wish you would have understood about parenting before you became a parent? I'm going to run through these and I'll leave a little tip or thought or whatever with each one of these. And also let me know if you hate that style because I'm editing this, you guys. I'm trying to make this the best podcast it can be. Okay. First comment. Jessica wishes that she would have understood herself. She wishes that she would have started healing her personal childhood trauma first. I totally get that, Jessica. Oh my gosh, having a kid is such a mirror to your responses, your triggers, your emotions, like how you deal with things. And it all stems from the generation before us, but we don't really learn that until we are faced right in the head with it. Another Jessica said, being clear on my reasons for wanting to become a parent than waiting till I was aligned. I do feel like a lot of people just have kids just because they feel like society pressures them to have kids, or maybe society is your Aunt Earl, your Aunt Bertha at the family reunion, or your grandma or something. Jessica's 100% right. Like, you should understand your reasons for wanting to have kids before you have kids. Shannon said, the village is not an Amazon delivery. You have to build it with the people you trust. And it is so damn true. When they say it takes a village to raise a child, you understand that once you have kids. Like, it is hard, and we'll get into more of these, guys. They're really good answers. Okay, another Jessica, third Jessica said, I wish I realized that I was ADHD and that would make motherhood so much harder. Ooh, I feel this one. I am self-diagnosed ADHD. Like, I totally believe that I am, but I also don't want to go get on any kind of Adderall type drugs, but it's really hard, especially when you get overstimulated a lot. Woo! Okay. Taylor said your relationship, she wishes she understood that your relationship will come second to your kids for years, even if you try and prioritize it. It is very true. It is very true. And that's why it's even more important for you to prioritize your relationship while your kids are young, because what I see happens and what I've heard and from experience of other people learning from that is that if you don't prioritize your relationship while your kids are little, as they grow up, you're going to be splitting further and further and further away. And then when the kids are gone, that glue, the kids are out of the house, then you're like, what do we even have in common anymore? Always date your partner. Okay. Cheryl said she wishes she would have understood not to compare your kids' progress or parenting skills with your family or friends. Ooh, that hits right in the gut. It could be so easy to do that, especially on social media. If you're having a down day with your kids, or you just screamed at them and you open your phone and see that your friend took her kids to the park and the zoo and the bowling alley, and to an art class all in one day, you're like, damn, I must be the worst parent ever. Do not compare. Do not compare, guys. It can be so easy to fall into that. Somebody else said, I don't know, it's just a username, said parenting is a mental fuck. And you're running on fumes 24/7. Wanting to run away sometimes. I can confirm this is 100% true. There are some days where I'm so overstimulated and overwhelmed that I'm like, oh my God, I just want to run away just so I can have some peace and quiet. That's why I like door dashing, because I'm like, I'm just going to go make some money while I'm just have time to think or listen to like a Mel Robbins podcast or something. Okay. Mariah wishes she understood how hard it would be to keep your cool when the gremlins are being naughty and mean. It's so true. You start noticing your responses, like what your natural response is. That in itself for me has been one of my biggest eye-opening factors of having kids. Another username, I'm not going to read out loud because this is anonymous, wishes they understood how I would never be able to turn off being a mom and how little time I'd have to do me. Listen, guys, if you are on the fence about having kids, this is one thing that I really want you to think about. Like, if you are someone who is a selfish person, and I'm not saying that makes you a bad person, but you are selfish with your time and your resources and your money and your energy, you need to seriously think about having kids. Because what this person said is right. Like, you will never be able to stop worrying about these 2 little lives or however many little lives you create. Your world revolves around them, like 18 years plus. Like, your life becomes revolved around your kids. Like, it's the most selfless act you can do is to have a kid. So think about that. Okay. Lindsay wishes she understood what a default parent is and talk through scenarios with husbands before kids. Very true. I would like to hear more about what this default parent is, Lindsay. If you'd like to do a podcast about it, please reach out. Okay. Ashley wishes she understood working through your own childhood trauma. Ding, ding, ding. We have that twice. So think about that, guys. Got to work through the trauma because it's going to bubble up one way or another. Honestly, I feel like having kids rips the childhood trauma scab off because you have to start healing. Like, you have to. Hannah wishes she understood that moms have no support other than saying what you're feeling is normal and giving you pills. I know that's right. Brandy said how freaking hard... Brandy wishes she realized how freaking hard it is realizing your life is no longer your own. I am telling you guys, if you want to have kids, this is the kind of stuff you need to think about. Another username, I don't know the first name, said they wish they understood that you don't always like your kids. Love them, yes, but sometimes they are buttholes. The tantrums about putting clothes on and outfits and eating a certain way or putting a certain sock on. I'm like, brother, there are people that are dying. Okay. Jill wishes that she understood how awful the toddler stage is. It's true. It's true. Especially when they're so cute and precious and adorable and they say the cutest things and come up with the best little words and sentences, but it can be really extremely challenging. And over things that you're like, this won't matter in 5 years, but why are we making a big deal out of it right now? It's because it's kids. We all had to learn, I guess. Okay. Sherry said mental health. Wishes she understood how gross it is. Kids, motherhood, everything. So true. Oh, the first time you stand up after having a baby. I mean, tell me that is not disgusting. Poopy diapers, the black tar. It's sick. But we do it because we love them, right? Sherry also said how hard it is to advocate for your children in the healthcare system, especially special needs. I would like to do a podcast on this as well. Another user said, changing toddler diapers is like a wrestling match. It is so true. Why does it have to be so hard? Katie wishes she understood how much work we would have to do on ourselves so we don't repeat patterns. Another one for childhood trauma. Here's my little angel baby. She said how we wouldn't be able to just sit down for an hour and not have to do anything. That was one of the hardest things for me becoming a parent, is when I realized I couldn't sit down for a while until the kids were napping or sleeping. Katie also said, having a hands-on partner, and my friends don't, makes it hard to have certain combos because they're always complaining, and I have nothing but good things to say about my husband and how helpful he is. Makes me feel so awkward. You gotta have friends that are in alignment. And support your friends too when their husbands are douches. Jean said the tantrums and how to handle screaming. It's the screaming for me. Oh my gosh. The screaming is nuts. Will wishes they understood postpartum. Everybody talked about pregnancy, birth, motherhood, but not postpartum. Can we just take a special moment for this answer, because it is so real. I had the worst postpartum depression with my second son. Like, I think I was actually depressed during my pregnancy with him. Noah's here with us.
Mom, why are you talking?
I'm talking to the camera, and then we'll upload this for all of our friends to see. Brother, postpartum is a nightmare. And we need more support and more people to talk about it. I 100% agree. Okay, and then the last one's from Alexandra. She wishes she understood how many times I would be touched. It is so true. Just everything. Like, if you are not a touchy-feely person, you're going to become one, because your toddlers will come up and just poke, 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 poke. Well, you guys, I hope you loved this episode of Unperfect with Alexi. Next week, I'm polling my audience on what the biggest lesson they've learned in business is. So if you want to get in on that, please make sure you either send me a DM, send me an email, hi@aleximckinley.com, or make sure to check my Instagram stories at Alexi McKinley and insert your thoughts, feedback, opinions, whatever thoughts you have into that box so we can share your answers anonymously next week. Thank you guys so much for being here. If any of this resonated with you, or you think one of your friends needs to hear this, make sure you send this episode to them so we can really build that community together. All right, love you guys.